Hey, thanks for tuning in again. Today, June 23rd, 2017, the second official day of Doug's 28 podcasts. And like I've said a million times already before, I'm going to try to record a mini podcast at some point in my day, every day for the entire age of 28. So here I am. It's currently 7:41. I'm driving on I-40, just going over 12th Street, right by where I used to live. I'm smack dab. I used to get off right there on the 6th Street exit, go down Manal, turn left onto Manal, turn right on 8th Street, and head back there. And that was our little house, our little townhouse that we lived in for 5 years. And now I live way the fuck out in Rio Rancho, and it sucks dick. Let me just say that. If you ever have a shot in life, and someone says, look at you and your family of 4 can move into a 4-bedroom, giant, spacious house in Rio Rancho for slightly more than you pay a month living in smack dab in the middle of Albuquerque, or you can stay in your little small house, townhouse in Albuquerque. Absolutely take the Albuquerque one, because it's just, I love the North Valley and I miss it already. I don't even think we've lived here for 4 months yet, and every day I just punch myself in the dick as I drive home to Rio Rancho. But you know what? We'll get into that another time, because right now I just gotta say I'm driving, and this sunset is absolutely gorgeous. Like there's like this weird dirt, probably a little bit of smoke from a forest fire haze in Albuquerque, and it's kind of partly cloudy, the wind's blowing, but the sunset is just absolutely gorgeous. I'm gonna post a picture I took while driving on the freeway. Yeah, I did. Come arrest me. I took one while driving 70 miles an hour. I got my phone out. Just a little two-hand job. I've multitasked. I'm of the generation that grew up when you could still talk on the cell phone and drive at the same time. I remember just thinking how ridiculous it was in like 2006 that Santa Fe outlawed driving and talking on the phone at the same time. And I was like, those uptight liberals in Santa Fe, of course they would. And I totally did not think that would just become a giant thing where the whole country would make it illegal to drive and talk and text. Because that used to just be my thing. I would drive and, you would just drive and talk on the phone, stop at a stoplight. Or these are the old days, too, when you didn't have these fancy touchscreen keyboards and you just had to do it on your keypad. And I wasn't a T9 guy. I was just the type that shit out manually, pound, pound, pound. I could still this day, if you hand me a phone with just actual numbers on it, I could type, hey, what's up, ? Within like 3 seconds of having that phone in my hand. I can just go boom, knock it out and hit send. I wouldn't even have to, that was the thing about texting and driving back then. I didn't even have to look at the road. I could just look at my phone. I could just whip it out and just go boom, and just do it off to the side. I could do it in class. I could just pull my flip phone open in my pocket. Just type, hey, what's up? And then the other one was nothing, or nothing you. So when someone texts you first and you're like, oh, nothing you, ? I used to be able to knock those out easy. So yeah, if you want to see a picture of the beautiful sunset in Albuquerque, you can go look me up on Instagram. It's just Douglas Case on Instagram. One of my biggest regret of the last 7 years is that, oh shit, there is a fist fight right here in the median of Coors and, what street is this? And Ure? I think that was right here by the Sonic, right after you drive by the Cracker Barrel. There's a fist fight! Oh! Get some! God, this city's crazy. Well, that was cool. Just totally derailed anything I wanted to talk about. So one of my biggest regrets is that when I first joined Twitter, just not taking Douglas Case or just at Doug, because that would have been the real go-to move. But I didn't do it. I did Sir Douglas Case for whatever dorky reason. And then I went back later and tried to switch it, and some jerk-off who's never even used Twitter, who tweeted once in 2000 and, what year was this? 2009? I joined February 2009. This person joined in September of 2009 and never tweeted. There's a Douglas Case, and they've tweeted 5 times. They had a good little 5-month run in I want to say like 2011 while they were doing it. Nothing, so I messed up. That's one of my biggest regrets. I'm just kidding, there's way bigger regrets than that, but... Man, so like, it was like, so to go back to that fight, it was like there's this guy who was standing in the meeting and another guy on a bike, and the guy just got off the bike and like walked up and punched this other dude. I don't even know what that was about. I mean, it was a little bit scary, but a little bit entertaining. Oh, that's not even... So, okay, so I go to... Yeah, and to go back to yesterday's episode, if you missed it, you can go back and listen to it now. But I was talking about going to happy hour today. And so I did. One of the radio stations I work with has a happy hour at a place up in Uptown on Fridays from 4:30 to 6. And from 5 to 6:30, they give away concert tickets every 5 minutes. And this place that they're at and they're doing the happy hour has a little tiny patio. And then you can go sit inside as well. And a lot of times you'll see, I've gone the last couple weeks, and you can start to see that it's a lot of like the same people come over and over again, which isn't a bad deal because you can still like, you even if you win the week before, you can show up again. And what they do is like you put your name in a hat, not in a hat, but in like a box, and then like every 5 minutes they draw a name out and you can win concert tickets. And what the way you pick the concert tickets is they walk up to you after you won and there's just a bunch of envelopes and you pick an envelope and inside are concert tickets. So it's just like a blind draw, and sometimes you get something good like Matchbox 20, or sometimes you get something bad like Nickelback. Just the way it goes, because I guess last year it was a mess where people were sitting there taking their time trying to decide what tickets. So it starts at 4:30, and it's kind of like the last couple weeks it's been like a slow crowd coming in. It usually like gets packed about 5:30 or so. But this week, like I got there at 4:25 and it was already packed, so I got out right away and went and sat down, got a drink and everything, and it was just filling up. And I guess like there was this one group, like it's like a family, and there's probably 6 or 7 of them, and the tables are like these little tiny things out on the patio that probably they fit 4 people, like, you know, one like on each side of the table, like not comfortably, but you can still do it. I mean, it's happy hour, so you think most people are just getting drinks, and you know, maybe the table gets an appetizer. So like this group of like 7 or 8 people show up and they start putting tables together. While they're doing that, and all the other tables are already filled up with people who have been there waiting, this woman walks in with her daughter and like a couple other people, and she's like looking around and she's getting pissed off, and she's like, well, I called and reserved a table. And she's freaking out. She's like stressed. You can see it on her face, and she doesn't know what to do with her hands, and she's like shaking because she doesn't know what to do, because she's like, well, I called to reserve a table. I reserved tables. And so she goes inside, and then the manager walks out, and by then in the patio thing, it's just you come sit down and you grab your table. And this lady's like trying to pull like, oh no, I called. So lady walks back in, goes and gets like the manager walks out, and he's trying to like, he's like, well, I can't, he's like, all the tables are taken, I can't just boot people off. It's kind of first come first serve. We don't normally take table reservations for the happy hour on the patio. And the lady starts going, well, those people came and took all the tables and blah blah blah. And she's kind of like a snotty, I would say probably late 30s lady, well dressed, you know, like what you would expect to be eating at a place in Uptown. And the other woman, same thing. And both of these people have kids with them. And this other lady, and she was a word who, I'm not going to say it. She was just a jerk. And she was just like giving the waiter a hard time about everything. Like just really like picky about, well, we want this, and then we're going to want this, and we need more table. Or she was like, and this other lady was like really upset because she needed more chairs because she had too many people with her. And they were just like, man, we don't like you, like this is what we got. Like this is the patio. You know, we can't come out and start bringing out, you know, our nice fancy chairs out to the patio, blah, blah, blah. So the other lady starts going like, oh, well, those people took all the tables, blah, blah, blah. And the other lady here is the one who's complaining about the table, about the chairs. And she goes, well, you should have been here earlier. You should have blah, blah, blah. And these two ladies start like getting into it. The one lady who was complaining about the chairs has like a 3-year-old on her, like not a 3-year-old, I'd say like probably a 5-year-old sitting on her lap. The other lady is holding her, I'm guessing about a 5-6-year-old's hand. And they're sitting there, they're pointing at each other, and they're yelling at each other in the middle of this patio. The manager's like, ma'am, he's trying to get the one lady who doesn't have the table, and like, ma'am, we'll get you somewhere inside, blah, blah, blah. And it just made me laugh. Because it's just like, you guys, you have kids. Like, look, you reserve tables. The manager already said, hey, we messed up. We don't take reservations. So, just accept your loss and move on. Go sit inside. It's air conditioning. You didn't have to even be outside on the patio to win the tickets, because they would call names on the patio. And if they weren't on the patio, they would go inside. And, just pick your battles, lady. Just move on. Say, hey, we didn't get our table outside. We'll go sit inside. And the funny thing is, her and her husband and, the other people that were with her end up getting a table later on anyways, because some people went and decided to go sit inside. So it was all for nothing. And the other lady who was complaining about the chairs 20 minutes in asked the manager if they could move inside because they were too hot outside. So they ended up going inside and sitting at a big table. And it was just like, you guys all fought, and then everything worked out. The one lady who didn't get her chairs ended up being able to go sit inside because she was too hot. I don't know where I was going with any of this. I cussed a lot, and I said that yesterday I was going to try not to cuss anymore. But I got really riled up in the fist fight that was taking place over there on Coors and I-40 frontage road. Good times. Hey, if you're in Albuquerque tomorrow, you should come to Nexus Tap Room, which is on Coors and the I-40 frontage road right there. I can't for the life of me think of the name of that intersection. From 8 to close, because my good friend Marty's going to be spinning records and DJing hits. And I hopefully am planning on going there and drinking a bunch of beer. Because remember, I said I wasn't going to drink anymore too. Oh, also, funny story about cargo shorts. My wife got me a pair of cargo shorts for my birthday without even knowing. But they were too big, so I had to take them and exchange them today. And I ended up opting to not get cargo shorts. So I'm already just a giant liar about everything I said I was going to do while I was 28. Minus this podcast. I still got it going on 2 days running. So hey, cool. Thank you very much for listening. I need to start promoting the SoundCloud page, but I can't for the life of me remember what it is. So tomorrow I'll do it because I have that saved at work, and I'll be at work when I record this. Twitter is at Sir Douglas Case. Instagram, Douglas Case. I have a Facebook page that I made for this podcast, but I'm not promoting it yet because it's boring and I don't really know what I'm doing with it yet. And I'm still getting all the kinks worked out of this podcast, and I don't really want anyone on Facebook to check it out because it's mostly family, and I feel weird promoting podcasts and stuff with family and all that. I'll post that picture of the beautiful sunrise, sunset, whatever it is, on Instagram. And yeah, so thank you very much for tuning in again. Hope you enjoyed, and have a good night.